Launching a startup is a long journey with many difficulties, but it gets easier with a friend, MyCTOfriend. Hi, and welcome to the CTO Tips. We are now about to access and backup your product source code. While usually only the developers access to the source code, I would recommend you as a project owner, as the owner of your startup, to also have a backup on your own computer of what has been done and what is on progress in terms of source code, which can also be a backup if someday something happen and someone erase your repository or whatever. So the tool that I recommend you to use is the tool source3, which goes with the repository we've used so far, which is called Bitbucket. So let me introduce you to source3. Source3 is a simple tool where you can download it for, of course, Mac and Windows. So yeah, it's going to be very easy. If I click on download, I get directly the file, and as soon as I get the file, I can unzip the file and launch the application and put it in the application directory and launch the application. So here is source3 application. The first thing, of course, as usual, I agree. They don't need to know my information. Okay, I can use an existing account, which means that I already have my Bitbucket account and I can subscribe with it. So let me connect with my CTO. Next. Perfect. So I'm now logged in my account, and I can use directly a Bitbucket cloud infrastructure. In fact, I'm gonna let exactly like it is right now. I just need to connect my account again. Okay, so now I allow my application to access and my computer to access to my account. So I granted the account, and I can generate a key on my own computer. In fact, I don't really need any. Okay. So I have now a key on my computer that allow me to access to the repository I am allowed to. If I continue, here is the only project I set up on my Bitbucket, the repository I have on Bitbucket account, and I can set up a local directory where I can save the information. So I invite you to do and to select in which directory you want to put it. So I set up here the directory where I want to save my source code in, and if you are on Windows, it's going to be quite the same, except it's going to start with maybe C double point or 2 points and then the path. So I can click on clone. And here it is. Now it's interesting because I have access to several things. The first point is that I have access to every commit that has been done by developers. So I can see that the original one was just this one, the README, which usually is the documentation of your source code. It has been done by the user, which is right in here, Amaury, and I had another file that has been created later, and then another change that has been created here. So along the way, you will be able to access to every change and know exactly which developer have done which changes, and then having always a backup on your computer. Okay, so now what would be interesting for you to do is to always, or do it on regular basis, is to click on the fetch commit, which gonna get all the updates that has been done by developers. And I just created a new file right now, a main website page, and so add home page, this one. And that's interesting because you can have always an access to what has been created by who and know exactly what's happening. And if your developers are working or not on your project, if they are not working for a few weeks, it's going to be very easy for you to see that and to know that they haven't commit anything. And if they say to you, yeah, but I was working on my side, you should suggest them to create what is called a branch, which means that they will have their own copy of the product, but still on the repository, which means that if something happened or if they broke their computer or whatever, you will always have an updated source code copy. So what you need to keep in mind is, first of all, Git is a standard, and using the application source tree allow you to connect to any kind of Git repository. Synchronize your computer like if you were a developer. Of course, you are not going to commit anything or develop anything of the product, but maybe one day you will be happy to be able to just correct a misspelling on your website or something like that. It can be quite easy finally, as soon as you don't change the real code. The other point, what can be interesting for you is that Bitbucket plus source tree works together very perfectly. It's free as soon as you have a team that is less than 5 people, and then you can also use other services like Turtle's Git, which is another software, or Git Desktop, which usually goes with the GitHub.com website. It's another alternative, but again, it doesn't really matter. As soon as you have a repository, your developer worked on it, and you are the owner of the repository, everything is fine for your startup and everything is under control, which is the most important. I hope it was helpful. As usual, you can ask as many questions and comment the video if you have, and I'm going to see you on MyCTOfriend.co for bunch more courses and video on how to build a startup. See you there. Bye for now.